Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter sounds like some awful special that would air on the History Channel after 3 a.m., but it's actually a novel that got adapted into a major motion picture, and it is every bit as goofy as it sounds. I remember seeing the trailer for this movie when it first came out back in 2012, and just laughing at the concept, thinking that the movie must be terrible. Recently, however, when I looked up the trailer for this film, I kid you not, the entire comment section is just full of people gassing this film up, saying it's underrated and one of the best action movies they've seen in years. The unanimous praise for this movie in the comments of this video legitimately had me questioning if maybe I had been wrong this whole time for assuming that it was just some goofy trash based on the name alone. So I decided to give it a watch and see if Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter was the underrated gem that all of these hooligans were making it out to be. And having watched it, you know what? This film is actually pretty good at being really bad. Like, seriously, what were these people watching? Are these bots in the comments? I don't know. All I do know is that Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is a pretty bad film, and today I'm going to be showing you all why. So, we open with a bad CGI shot of the Washington Monument with some overdramatic voiceover from Mr. Lincoln himself. Because it's a movie about Abraham Lincoln, of course, we literally can't go 30 seconds without Lincoln showing that he loves all black people and really hates slavery. And this movie takes it up a notch as child Abraham Lincoln legit tries to murder this guy for whipping his black friend. The slave driver starts to whip him, so Lincoln's dad throws the guy into the water before the rich, racist white employer guy, Jack, breaks up the fight. Lincoln's dad tries to fight him, but the dude's cane is also a gun for some reason. Yeah, it's surprisingly not the dumbest thing that turns into a gun in this movie. We'll get to that. So, Lincoln's dad surrenders, and Jack makes some vague threat about there being other ways to repay them. Later that night, little boy Lincoln is up late when Jack breaks into his house and bites his mom in her sleep, fatally poisoning her. Just remember, kids, Abraham Lincoln's mom didn't die from bad milk. She was actually just super unnecessarily poisoned by some random vampire dude to get back at the Lincoln family for punking one of his random slave driver guys. Like, wait, why did this guy even do this again? He could have just totally killed Lincoln's dad or had the family whipped or punished them in a more conventional method. I just don't really understand why he randomly decided to secretly bite and poison Lincoln's mom just to get back at his dad. Yeah, who knows. Anyways, we get a time skip to Lincoln as an adult, and he's getting super drunk at a bar. Some random dude walks up to him and say that men only get that drunk when they're ready to kiss a girl or kill a man. Bro, I don't know if Henry here knows this, but people totally go to the bar to get drunk for way more reasons than that. I don't know why he just assumed that it had to be one of those two options. That's like seeing someone at a grocery store and then asking them, "Oh, are you here to get trail mix, or are you just running away from your nagging wife?" Like, there's way more options there, bro. Anyways, Lincoln goes to Jack and tries to shoot him in the head, but the gun jams, so he runs away. Dude, why is Lincoln just like a wannabe murderer in this film? We're only 5 minutes in, and our boy Lincoln has already tried to kill on 2 separate occasions. Anyways, he's trapped in this boathouse, he sees some random girl that this vampire guy killed, and then Jack starts banging on the door, taunting him. For some reason, he just intentionally gives Lincoln enough time to reload, and it's not even like he doesn't know Lincoln is trying to reload his gun. He can see him through the cracks of the door and even mocks him when he drops the bullet. And because Jack is just a complete idiot, he ends up giving Lincoln enough time to pack the gunpowder, load another bullet, and get shot in the eye because of this. Lincoln tries to get rid of the evidence for the literal crime he just committed, but the vampire guy pops out of nowhere and attacks him with superhuman strength. Instead of killing Lincoln right away, however, he just scratches him and like WWE super slams him onto the deck. But before he can do anything else, Henry from the bar swoops in and saves Lincoln. So this dude Henry knew that Jack was a vampire, and Abe wants to know how to kill Jack. But Henry agrees to only teach him if Lincoln agrees to kill other vampire targets on Henry's naughty list. Lincoln agrees, and Henry tells him that he can't distract himself with friends or family or any intimate connections. But that doesn't really make any sense because this dude Henry was literally just with a woman earlier in the bathtub. So wasn't he like distracting himself? After this, Henry takes Lincoln to John Wick's gun collection if he lived in the 1800s and tells Lincoln to choose his weapon. But instead of any of the guns, Lincoln decides to go with an axe. Really quick side note here, why in every piece of Abraham Lincoln media where he's fighting people is his weapon always an axe? Like, I get he was a rail splitter back in the day, but not every single rail splitter is just like a magician with an axe. And besides, Lincoln was actually a really good wrestler who is even in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. So it's not like he didn't have something else to work with. People who make stories about Abraham Lincoln could just have him fighting people through wrestling, and that would be way more accurate and unique. Okay, I got a little sidetracked there. Anyways, Henry trains Lincoln on how to fight vampires, giving him valuable information like their ability to turn invisible and their weakness to silver. But the training itself just mainly consists of like spinning an axe, getting beat up in the dark because vampires can turn invisible, and chopping down a tree. When they get to the tree chopping, Henry asks Lincoln to cut down the tree in one chop. Wait. Like, bro, are you serious? Like, who do you think he is? The Onceler brothers from the Lorax? John Henry? How is any human being supposed to do that? Like, one chop, brother? Lincoln tries and obviously fails because it is physically impossible for a human to chop down a tree like this in one swing, but then Henry reminds him why he wants to hunt vampires, and Lincoln uses his rage and somehow gets, like, superhuman strength and chops the tree down. Then Henry just randomly says this.
Power, Lincoln. Real power comes not from hate, but from truth.
What does that even mean? How does the truth even make you, like, super strong? Anyways, after some super goofy, very unrealistic training, Henry gives Abraham an informational slideshow where he explains why the vampires are targeting slaves. I guess because before they targeted the Native Americans, but now they target the disenfranchised slaves because they're easy targets for rich white vampires to buy and consume discreetly. I just want to point out here that in this little slideshow, there's this slide with a map, and it legit just looks like a map that was made in modern day and then just tinted to look old-timey. Also, when Henry tells Lincoln of the death and devastation these vampires have brought to the States, he just shows a slide of one singular random woman laying on the ground, who, I mean, I'm assuming she's supposed to be dead. But, like, I don't think this was the mic drop you're looking for, Henry. I mean, for all we know, this is just a picture of some lady taking a nap. We have no idea who this girl is, and one singular body, even if she was actually dead, doesn't really seem to fit with your claim of this, like, vast death and devastation that the vampires are bringing upon the New World. So, with his training complete, Henry sends Lincoln to Springfield, where he gets a job from a shopkeeper named Speed and meets Mary Todd and Stephen Douglas. In the following section of the movie, Lincoln acts like an 1800s Batman, cashier by day, and murderous vigilante by night, basically just going around Springfield and murdering whoever Henry commands him to. On his first assignment, he chokes and gets captured by this old guy, but while hanging upside down, Abraham successfully drops a knife from his belt to his mouth, slits this guy's throat, and pulls himself up, and with one stroke of his neck muscles and a tiny knife, is able to cut through this rope. I guess bro activated truth mode or something. So yeah, anyways, this version of Abraham Lincoln is just like a serial killer now, and I know it's a little different because they are evil vampires and all, but to be fair, it's not like Lincoln is killing them out of the goodness of his heart or anything. He is only doing this so Henry will help him kill the guy he wants to kill, Jack, who killed his mom. He's basically just a bloodthirsty maniac for the first half of this film, going around and killing dudes, no questions asked, just to get revenge. Now, if you all recall, Henry told Lincoln that he's not supposed to have any friends or family, as they will only serve to be distractions and make him more vulnerable. But Lincoln starts to catch feelings for Mary, his old black friend Will shows up, and Abe begins to also work towards becoming a politician. So Henry goes to Springfield to ask him what the barnacle is going on. Abe is upset because Henry won't let him go after Jack yet, so Henry allows him to finally take down Jack. Just like every single other time, however, Lincoln fails to get the jump on him, so Jack is able to run away. Okay. Excuse me. So the following scene is literally one of the most laughable, ridiculous, goofy things I have ever seen in my entire existence. In this shot, Jack runs away from Lincoln and there are maybe like 20 horses who run near him. In the next shot, however, there are actually like 150 horses just from nowhere, just spawning in, running in an open field in a completely different type of lighting in a different time of day. So I'm just supposed to believe that Abe Lincoln chased this dude Jack in the middle of this giant horse stampede for miles away from the barn and possibly for hours until the sun started to set. Yeah. And we're just barely getting into the insanity of this scene. We're at the top of the iceberg here, and we got a whole lot more levels to go down. So Jack calls out to Lincoln like he's a video game NPC, and then just wrestle slams these two CGI horses to the ground as some kind of obstacle. Lincoln jumps those with his horse, but falls off his horse, and Jack pounces on him before getting kicked off by another horse. I am saying the word horse way too many times. As if things weren't goofy enough, they just continue to get more insane. Jack grabs a horse by its leg and throws it into Abe, which, come on guys, let's be honest, should have instantaneously killed him, but not only is Lincoln still alive and conscious, but he just rolls back on top of the horse and rides it. Dude, what? First of all, how is this horse's leg not just completely snapped in two after what happened? How is that leg even usable? And how is Lincoln just completely fine after getting body slammed by a giant horse flying at him at 30 miles per hour? I guess bro be using the truth or something. Okay, so Jack just parkours his way back onto a horse and the two start fighting on horseback. Look, guys, I will admit that this is a unique fight location that I've never seen in any other movie before, and it's pretty exhilarating, but I would be lying if I said that I could just gloss over how absolutely insane and goofy this whole fight looks. I don't know, maybe there's a reason that no other film tried to have a fight like this before. But you know what, as insane as this fight has been, at least there wasn't something super dumb and completely impossible like two fighters running across the sea of horses and jumping off of all of their backs in a really stupid manner, right? I can't do this, bro. Dude, let's just finish this stupid scene. So Abe runs across all of these moving horses, and Jack does a backflip on a horse. And eventually, this cliff just spawns in from nowhere, and Jack and Lincoln fall off of it. Yeah, I did not alter this footage in any way. The film legit just goes from this shot to this shot, like there weren't totally just horses in the last shot running right where this cliff was supposed to be. Anyways, when they fall off, the lighting goes back to normal because it doesn't take place in fake CGI fairy tale land anymore. And yeah, Lincoln just shoots this guy with a gun that was inside of his axe. A gun inside of his axe. Yeah. Bro, I swear, an 8-year-old wrote this movie. I like how Abe chose an axe and told Henry that he didn't want to use a gun because he didn't have good luck with one the first time he fought Jack, but then he just completely lied because his axe is actually secretly a gun the whole time. Like, why even have this little bit where he's like, oh, I don't have good luck with things that shoot, so I'm not going to choose a gun and I'll choose an axe instead, and then just have the axe be a gun? Like, that doesn't make any sense, bro. Back in Springfield, Henry reveals himself to be a vampire by killing this not nice man by sucking his blood, and then Abe just happens to come across him somehow. Like, bro, what? Abe, why in the heck are you in this random alleyway right now? It's not like Henry told him, hey, Abe, bro, like, totally meet me in this obscure random alley right after I finish killing this guy. Abe literally just stumbled upon him by chance. And look, I know some people will gloss over things like this because it's supposed to just be a dumb action movie, so, you know, turn your mind off, but come on, dude. When a movie's writing has coincidences and conveniences that are on par with Wonder Woman 1984, I think it's fair to call it out for being a little too lazy. Anyways, Henry tells Lincoln about his tragic past, how these vampire goons, led by Adam, the head vampire, just rode up on him and his wife, attacked him, turned him into a vampire, and killed her. Okay, like, why did Adam do this? There was legit no motive behind this attack. All he did was just take Henry off and then make him a more powerful enemy and then leave him to his own devices. You just made yourself a completely unnecessary and powerful enemy, dude. Like, why would you even do that? Like, why? What was the point? Like, Adam, literally, what was the point of doing this? So one important thing to note here is that vampires can't kill other vampires, which is why Henry is training Lincoln to kill them, so that he can get revenge on Adam. Lincoln gets super salty about Henry lying to him, so he leaves, but Henry, being the wonderful, amazing friend he is, he leaves a pocket watch that is tied to Abe with Jack's body so that the vampires will target him, and he will have to keep fighting them regardless. What a great friend. They kidnap Will to force Abraham to come to them, so he decides to take his boss Speed with him for some reason to go fight vampires. Abe, why are you taking your, regular boss dude to help you fight vampires?
You and me, Abraham, together we can accomplish anything.
Speed, what are you talking about, brother? Abraham is a lethal killer, but you're just, literally a regular guy. I don't even know why Lincoln brought you with him in the first place. How are you going to help him accomplish anything? This is like if Smush Parker told Kobe Bryant that together they could win a championship. Like, it's not your place to say that, my guy. You're just a regular bum. When they get to the plantation, Abe has to fight off a bunch of vampires, and in the middle of the action, Speed runs away. All that hype for nothing, bro. Surprisingly, one thing that this movie does have going for it is the action choreography. The action scenes are shot pretty well when they don't involve horses, and this manor fight is one of the best in the entire film. I mean, sure, there is the occasional goofy moment where, Will, an untrained pedestrian, does a cartwheel flip kick as an attack, but for the most part, the fight is pretty solid. Abe is eventually captured, and Adam makes him an offer. Since he can't kill Henry and a few other vampires who resist his reign, he wants Lincoln to do it for him. Abe refuses, and before Adam kills Will for Lincoln's refusal, Speed bursts into the mansion and rescues Abe and Will, helping them to escape. Guess he was actually worth the hype after all. After he saw the vampires in the South harvesting and killing slaves with his own eyes, Lincoln decides to fully turn to politics against Henry's wishes and starts to rally for the end of slavery. We get a time skip to when Lincoln has become president, the Civil War is going on, and Abe is a father. Somehow, Fedoma, the sister of Adam, invades the White House as a maid and poisons Lincoln's son in the same way that Jack had poisoned his mom. Abraham's son, Willie, dies, and Henry comes to visit Abe, suggesting that they make a truce with Adam before more boys die in the war. So Speed is now like Abraham Lincoln's Secretary of War somehow. Wait, dude, how did they trust some random shop owner guy who literally has no qualifications to be in such an important position to... Oh wait, actually, you know what, Loki, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of powerful figures in the government get their positions because they know somebody, and not because they're actually the best candidate for the job. You know what, never mind. I don't question this at all. So anyways, the Battle of Gettysburg is taking place, and the vampires decide to help the South so that they can keep owning and feeding on slaves. In this one sequence, a couple of vampires just literally insta-kill a dozen Union troops, so I guess they're super lethal unless they're going against a protagonist that has plot armor. Come on, bro. You're telling me that these vampires can kill all of these dudes in less than a second, but they can't kill one guy whose only weapon is an axe? Why don't they just use this instant kill attack against Lincoln? Why do they do stupid things like letting him reload his gun, tying him up and asking him if he ate dinner, and showing off their bad CGI faces by roaring at him like they're Alex the Lion instead of just killing him right away? Why do they break into his house and have the chance to kill him secretly, but then just poison his son and leave him alone? I don't know, dude. It really seems like they just somehow stop being threats when Lincoln shows up, and it reeks of poor power scaling and bad writing. After the high casualties at Gettysburg, Abe finally remembers that vampires' weakness is silver, so he very unconstitutionally steals all of the silver in the North, gathers it up, and turns it into ammunition and weaponry, sending it to Gettysburg by train. Speed meets with Fedoma and agrees to betray Lincoln because he loves the country more than his friend, and thinks that the war is destroying the country he loves. Let's not kid ourselves though, we all know this is a fake betrayal. This movie ruins what could have been a compelling twist because they don't give Speed a real conflict on this issue. He never seems on the fence about helping the Union or thinks about maybe helping the Confederates. This whole "I love the country more" thing comes out of nowhere and seems completely illogical and irrational. So we all know that he's not actually going to betray Lincoln because we never even saw him struggle between what side he was going to choose. Abe, Will, and Speed decide to guard the train because, yeah, the government would definitely let the President of the United States risk his life by personally delivering supplies into an active war zone, not to mention, on top of that, fighting in hand-to-hand combat against vampires with no help or protection aside from his two close friends. So remember how Speed has betrayed Abraham? Well, the writers of this movie really want to make sure that your idiot brain knows for sure that Speed has betrayed his good friend. They show him betraying Lincoln, they have him acting nervous and sus during the train ride, they have Henry show up and tell Lincoln that Speed has betrayed him, and my personal favorite,
Well, that's all according to plan.
movie. Chill out. We get it. You don't need to be this blatantly obvious that Speed has betrayed Lincoln. We understand that. We're not cavemen. We can use our little noodles to think every once in a while. Like, guys, real talk, anytime a movie tries this hard to set you up for a twist, it sort of gives away the fact that it's going to be a twist, because they put so much emphasis on being like, did you see Speed betraying Lincoln? Did you see it? Did you hear it? Speed is going to betray Lincoln. He betrayed Lincoln. Speed is a traitor. Look. Did you see him betray Lincoln? Look. No? Here, watch it again. Do you understand now? Look. Did you see? Did you understand that Speed has for sure betrayed Lincoln? Did you know that Speed betrayed Lincoln? Speed is betraying Lincoln. There it is again. Look. Look, he's betraying him. Like, dude, if you hammer it in that much, obviously that can only mean that he didn't actually betray Lincoln, and that you just really want us to believe that. So you're making it more obvious than an old lady in a Fortnite lobby. Anyways, Will and Abe fight off a bunch of vampires on the train. It's pretty much just the same as most of the other action sequences in this movie. Cool, clever choreography, well-framed shots, over-reliance on slow motion for some reason, and the occasional goofy, ridiculous move that doesn't make any sense. After all his troops get clapped by Lincoln and Will, Adam himself shows up. He breaks Lincoln's axe and, like, hits Will. I really have no idea. I don't know. I mean, you tell me what he does here. Like, he backhands him or something, and Abe somehow covers an impossible distance to catch him. Bro used instant transmission to get there in time. Like, how did he get from here to here in the amount of time it took Will to fall, like, 2 feet? Like, it does not make any sense. Before Adam can kill Lincoln, however, Henry joins the brawl and saves him. Alright. Now, fasten your seatbelts and fix your jock straps for this one, because we're about to head directly into stupid land right here. So, Fedoma burns down a wooden bridge that the train has to go across in order to make it to Gettysburg, I guess just as an extra measure of security, but it does not make any sense at all. Okay, so think about this for a second. The train needs to go across this bridge. Fedoma has just taken out this bridge. Therefore, the train cannot go across this bridge. Therefore, it cannot make it to Gettysburg, and all the silver is going to crash and burn in a fiery train wreck. So why would Adam and the boys pull up to the train and attack Lincoln? You have already guaranteed that the train, and consequently the silver, won't make it to the battle. So why do you even have to lead this attack on the train? It's completely pointless. You're just wasting men at this point. Why even send troops to die when burning the bridge literally guarantees your success? You have no reason to do this, Adam.
Stupid.
What are you thinking? There's actually no good reason for why Adam would lead this assault on the train when simply burning the bridge, which they did, would have guaranteed his victory. The victory was guaranteed. How are you this stupid, bro? Dude was hanging around that orb of confusion for too long. Anyways, Adam finds out that there's no silver on the train and he kills Speed for lying to him. Guess bro wasn't a traitor after all. Like, wow, guys, who could have seen that coming? Certainly not me. The train goes over the burning bridge, which starts to fall apart, and after some goofy shenanigans that not even the Fast and Furious franchise would think about doing, Lincoln and Will end up on the wooden supports of the bridge. Adam asks Lincoln where the silver is, and Abe kills him by punching through him with the silver pocket watch from earlier.
Where's the silver? Right here!
Bro, I love how all the vampires are just totally unstoppable killers until the movie needs them to not be, so then they just leave themselves completely vulnerable and wide open for an attack and go out like wimps. Like, yeah, I just love that fact, dude. Like, I love how, 10 vampires can insta-kill, 50 guys in 1 second, and then 10 vampires against Abraham Lincoln, they just all get clapped and, don't even damage him. Yeah, that's just solid writing. Great writing. Love it so much. So, it turns out that the silver was actually delivered by the Underground Railroad to Gettysburg. That's right, a bunch of runaway slaves carried tons of silver, literally all the silver in the entire Union, or, at least all the silver in Washington, D.C., over 80 miles on foot in one single night to Gettysburg. Yeah, that doesn't seem impossible at all. Anyways, Mary spots Fedoma at the Union camp because she just went there for some reason. This vampire just wanted to go in the middle of the camp full of people who want to kill her right now and have the means to do so. And she did it because, well, she actually doesn't really have a reason. Maybe she wanted to kill Mary, but why do it in broad daylight in the middle of an enemy camp where everyone there has the ability to kill you? Did everyone in this movie just get stupid for no reason? Okay, so regardless of her stupidity, it somehow works and she gets Mary alone. So what does she do? Instantly attack her with super speed and strength? Use her agility and fighting skills to take Mary down? She actually just runs straight at Mary and not even at super speed, just like a normal run, and allows Mary to load a gun with the silver toy her son was playing with, take aim, and shoot her in the head. What an idiot, bro. What an idiot. This lady was supposed to be the second most powerful vampire of all time. She was in the Hall of Fame, bro. The Vampire Hall of Fame. Why did she turn into an oaf and just charge at Mary and not even make an attempt to use her powers or get out of the way? This is so dumb, dude. This movie is so dumb. How are there so many people defending this film and saying it's underrated and this great movie that doesn't get talked about enough? What did you guys watch? This movie, granted, at times, has really good action and the age up makeup and the effects were pretty solid. They made the Abraham Lincoln actor look young and then look old pretty well. That was done well. But other than that, what was so great about Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? The bad horse CGI, the stupid plot holes and bare bones plot and things that don't make sense, the inaccurate history and axe fighting. I don't know. I just don't get it. Anyways, the North wins Gettysburg because of the silver. Lincoln gives the Gettysburg address. He gives Henry his journal right before he goes to the theater. Hope he enjoyed the play. And the movie jumps to some random guy at the bar watching a helicopter land in front of the White House before closing out of the video and taking a shot. He emails somebody that he regrets what he is about to do, and Henry happens to be sitting next to him and asks him the same question he asked Abe. Okay, I want to end the review, but there's just so much wrong with this last scene that I just have to talk about it. First of all, my guy Henry needs to come up with a better recruitment method. 99.999999999% of the time, when he asks a super drunk guy at the bar this question, they won't actually be willing to kill somebody. And even if they do end up accepting his offer, there's even less of a chance of them actually being able to be trained and skilled enough to fight and kill vampires. Why are you still recruiting this way, bro? It's the modern age. Put up a job listing. Find and hire assassins on the dark web. Anything but this, dude. This is not it. Secondly, why was this guy even watching this right now? What was so important about that helicopter that he had to tune into this broadcast in the middle of getting wasted at the bar right before he's about to go kill somebody and then not even bother to finish watching the video? Third of all, why are you sending an email, brother? Send a text. And your email doesn't even have a subject or an intro. This is quite possibly the most vague email I've ever seen. And to top it all off, dude writes 3 more words words and doesn't even send the email and just calls it a day and gets another shot. Like, you're not sending the email, you're not finishing writing your letter. What are you doing, brother? Like, what are you doing? What is this movie? What am I doing? What am I doing? So that was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen, but aside from a few positive qualities, this film was just as bad and goofy as its title led me to believe. I still don't know how the comment section for the trailer of this film was literally just all praises for it, but hey, I guess there's some mysteries men just simply weren't meant to know the answer to, and this just might be one of them. If you enjoyed the review, then I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed, especially if you want to see more reviews like this. And also be sure to check out some of my playlists or some of my other videos on my channel. Anyways, I'll catch you all on the next one. Have a great day.